Hey, what's going on there, YouTube family? I know it's been a while, but today I'm doing actually a movie review. The movie I'm actually doing it on is actually, believe it or not, is not a superhero-related movie. It is in no way, shape, or form like this beat 'em up kind of movie either. It's actually pretty good. Man, this is an awesome movie. Snitch, which is starring the Rock, Dwayne Johnson. Um, it was just very intense. The reason why I wanted to really do the review is because I hold this movie in really high esteem. Like I had low expectations that was coming into the actual movie, and I didn't know it was gonna be as good as like it really was. And actually, it deserves a lot more credit for the directing, for the acting. Somebody had said that this is probably Dwayne Johnson's best movie to date, and not necessarily on an action level, but as far as just a movie goes, as far as storyline, as far as directing, this was probably one of his best movies. It showed his asset. His asset not necessarily in like his muscles, not necessarily in the fact that he's just natural hero. He's naturally gifted to be an athlete. But the big thing with him is the fact that he actually is a humble person. Like he's got a humble heart. He's a family man, and not just that, he'll do anything it takes to get the job done. And that's the big thing with this character. And for anybody that doesn't really know about what the storyline is about, it's about the main character, which his name in this movie is called John Matthews. He's got a son, and his son has actually been put in the worst situation ever, whereas he actually is going through the process of getting set up with a large sum of drugs that he's actually been implemented in and brought to jail. And even though he didn't have anything really necessarily to do with it, all the falls actually falling on him. And I'm not going to go and reveal the storyline, but you can see already off the gate, like, that in the beginning, like, it's not even necessarily put much focus on the Rock. It's actually put more towards the character. So the character-driven portion of this movie is just really defined to start off with. And then you also got another character, which in this movie his name is Daniel James, but I don't know if y'all know Shane from The Walking Dead. John, I can never get his last name right. I think it's Bernthal. This guy, he has range. He hasn't been in that many movies yet, but for what he has to do in this role, like, he is given full range to do whatever he wants to, because he plays an ex-con, and he's actually working for Dwayne Johnson's company, which is a trucking company, and he's making an honest living now. Like, he's no longer in the limelight that he used to be, but at the same time, he doesn't have enough money to suffice to get them out of, like, the heads-on line of what he used to live like when he was back with I don't want to reveal too much, but let's just say, like, the lifestyle he lived before, it was a very dangerous lifestyle. Not just for him, but for his wife and his kid. And he gave it all up, and he went straight. But now, with Dwayne Johnson's character, his character are just about to clash, because of what is about to happen and what Dwayne Johnson's character has to do. And in order for him to potentially get his son, get his plea cut from potentially up to 30 years, potentially most likely going to be 10 years, to maybe lower it down. But the only way he could do that is his son had to actually go and actually, well, it's the name of the movie, to snitch, and actually go and try to set other people up to implicate them. But he didn't know anybody. He didn't know any of his friends that were drug affiliated other than the one that messed him over. And so, not just that, he didn't want to be that. He didn't want to actually give up anybody. So his dad was telling him, Dwayne Johnson's character, saying, you don't have a choice. This is your life, and son won't do it. And I mean, it gets so real because you see the son and he's trying to do the right thing, but at the same time, there's nothing really he can do. Either way, he's looking at 10 years, no matter what. And with Dwayne Johnson's character, that's when it all goes back to him, where it shows like the fact that he's separated from his wife, and now he has his own family, he's got his own daughter, and I mean, he's living in the big house, whereas his ex-wife's living in the small house, and his son literally grew up fatherless, even though he was supposed to be there. He didn't. I guess he didn't get custody for the kid, and so he ended up with the mom. But because of that, he got into all these different kind of pathways and messed himself over. But now it doesn't even matter at this point because all Dwayne Johnson's character thinking is, what can I do to save my child? What can I do to lessen his sentence? I would do whatever it takes, and that's where the movie just goes. And from start to finish, like, you're on the edge of your seats. You not only are rooting for The Rock, but at the same time you're so afraid for him because he's not like this kind of wrestling character. He's not just this kind of like buff dude that can defend himself. He is a human. Like, he's in the middle of people that not only will kill him, but will kill the people that he loves very quickly. And that's just from the fact of him actually taking a role with his son, actually trying to actually go and set up these people to try to get them implemented, so he can lessen the sentence for his son. And the lengths that he goes for it, it's just amazing. I'm not going to tell you if it's a good ending, I'm not going to tell you if it's a bad ending, but you will be on the edge of your seats. And I thoroughly enjoyed it to start to finish. That's all I have to say. I can't tell you if it's going to end up being a good outcome or good anything, but like the lengths that he goes for his son. And when you see, there's a scene where it's him and his son, he's in prison. It's just only been 2 days, and he's already got almost beating down to the point where he's got to have like 36 or 32 stitches in his face. And he's talking to his dad, and he's telling him he wish he could have lived a different life. And his dad's saying, "This is my fault. It's not you, it's me." And you can just see all over both of their faces. And the way the directing is done, it cuts from scene to scene on the pacing, so it's so good because it's never like a dull moment. Even if somebody's acting level is not where it needs to be, like, it's still consistently just builds. And of course with John Brithal's character, like, he's got his own situation because some kind of a way, which I can't tell you, he gets involved with actually helping Dwayne Johnson's character get involved with these other outside sources, so to speak, to try to set them up without him knowing. And that in turn puts his family in jeopardy and puts him back in the role that he didn't want to come in and start with. And so both characters are like literally on a collision course, not only with each other, but with everything, every danger that comes with not just the gangs and the affiliations here in the U.S., but mafia. And so this is amazing, y'all. Like, I highly recommend this movie. I really think that everybody brought something to the table. Like, every character, it was just crazy. And I mean, there was different characters in it. One of which was Susan Sarandon. She played the person that was basically using The Rock and using the boy, and she had it within her power to actually lower the sentence at any time, anyway. But she just wanted to keep pressing and using, and she didn't care, honestly, about Dwayne Johnson's son. She just wanted to use it. Now, she played the role, but I've seen her in other things, and she's gone a little bit further as far as the acting level. But this one, I mean, to do what she needed to be, the kind of cocky kind of character she had to be, she did good. I mean, it just continued to pace off of what The Rock was, what he was willing to do, how far he was willing to go for his son. And anybody that has a child, and you put yourself in this scenario, what would you do, and what lengths would you go? It makes it so real. And I mean, like I said, it's not like something supernatural is going to happen in this movie. Like, the realistic aspects of these movies is crazy. And I mean, action scenes, which are few far between, honestly, when they do happen, like, they're pretty cool. Like, I mean, I just really enjoyed it, and I'm highly recommending it. I give it 10 out of 10. As far as the directing, I give it 9 out of 10. As far as the character development, 8 out of 10. As far as the acting level, and definitely I'd say this is probably Rock's one of his best movies. Look for him in upcoming movies, Fast and Furious 6, G.I. Joe. At the moment I can't think of anything else. And if you've never looked at this show, Walking Dead, I honestly would recommend starting from season 1. And like I said, the character of Shane, which is played by John Bernthal's character, hey man, he can act. I mean, he's an interesting character on that show, but he definitely plays his role in this one. And everybody brought something to the table, so I highly recommend the Snitch. Hope y'all have a good night, and a good morning to anybody who looks at it in the morning, and a good afternoon for the rest of the day. Alright, YouTube, be easy.